Hello, everybody. This is Pastor Green. We're going to do another read through the Bible in 1 year, day 7, Genesis 19 through 22. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, click the notification bell. That way, you get updates whenever I post a new video. Like the video and also comment, even if the comment is something as simple as thank you, hi, thumbs up, whatever it is. Just comment. Remember, I'm dyslexic and I stutter, so sometimes if I see big words, I get tripped up. And let's go ahead and get started. Genesis chapter 19. And there came two angels to Sodom at even, and Lot sat in the gate of Sodom. And Lot, seeing them, rose up to meet them, and he bowed himself with his face towards the ground. And he said, Behold now, my lords, turn in, I pray you. It is your servant's house, and tarry all night. And wash your feet, and ye shall rise up early, and go on your ways. And they say, Nay, we will abide in the streets all night. And he pressed upon them greatly, and they turned into him, and entered into his house. And he made them a feast, and did bake unleavened bread, and they did eat. But before they lay down, the men of the city, even the men of Sodom, compassed the house around, both old and young, all the people from every quarter. And they called unto Lot, and said unto him, Where are the men which came unto thee this night? Bring them out unto us, that we may know them. And Lot went out of the door unto them, and shut the door after them, and said, I pray you, brethren, do not so wickedly. Behold, now I have two daughters, which have not known men. Let me, I pray you, bring them out unto you, and do to them as good to your eyes. Only unto these men do nothing, for therefore come under our shadow of my roof. And they said, Stand back. And they said again, This one fellow came in to sojourn, and he will needs of a judge. Now we will deal worse with thee and with them. And they pressed sore upon the man, even Lot came near to break the door. But the men put forth their hand, and pulled Lot into the house to them, and shut the door. And they smote the men that were at the door in the house with blindness, both small and great, so that they wearied themselves to find the door. And the men said unto Lot, Hast thou here any besides son-in-laws, and thy sons, and thy daughters? Whosoever thou hast in the city, bring them out to this place. For we will destroy this place, because the city that is waxed great before the face of the Lord has sent us to destroy it. And Lot went out and spoke to his sons-in-law, which married his daughters, and said, Up, get you out of this place, and the Lord will destroy the city. But it seemed as one that mocked it to his sons-in-law. When the morning arose, and the angels hastened, Lot saying, Arise, take thy wife and thy two daughters which were here, lest thou be consumed in the iniquity of the city. And while he lingered, the men laid hold upon his hand, and upon the hands of his wife, and upon the hands of his two daughters, the Lord being merciful to them. And they brought him forth, and set him without the city. And it came to pass, when they had brought them forth abroad, that he said, Escape for thy life. Look not behind thee, neither stay thou in the plain, except to be the mountain, lest thou be consumed. And Lot said unto them, O not so, my lord. Behold, now my servant has found grace in thy sight, and thou hast magnified thy mercy which thou hast showed upon me by saving my life. And I cannot escape to the mountains, lest some evil take me and I die. Behold, now the city is near to flee to, and is a little one. O let me escape thither. Is it not a little one, and my soul shall live? And he said unto him, See, I have accepted thy concerning these things also, and I will not overthrow the city for which thou hast spoken. Hasten thee, escape thither, for I cannot do anything till thou be come thither. Therefore the name of the city was called Zor. The sun was risen upon the earth while the Lot entered into Zor. The Lord rained upon Sodom and upon Gomorrah brimstone and fire from the Lord out of heaven. And he overthrew those cities and all the plains, and the inhabitants of the cities, and that which were grown up out of the ground. But his wife looked back from behind him, and she became a pillar of salt. And Abraham got up early in the morning to the place where he stood before the Lord. And he looked toward Sodom and Gomorrah, and toward all the land of the plain, and behold, lo, a smoke of the country went up as the smoke of a furnace. And it came to pass, when God destroyed the cities of the plain, that God remembered Abraham, and sent Lot out of the midst of the overthrow, when he overthrew the cities of which Lot dwelt. And Lot went up out of Zor, and dwelt in the mountains, and his two daughters with him, for he feared to dwell in Zor, and he dwelt in the cave, he and his two daughters. And the firstborn said unto the younger, Our father is old, and there is not a man to earth to come after us after the manner of all the earth. Come, let us make our father drink wine. We will lie with him, that he may preserve seed with our father. And they made their father drink wine that night. And the firstborn went in and lay with her father, and he perceived not when she lay down or whether she arose. And it came to pass in the morrow, when the firstborn said to the younger, Behold, I lay yesterday night with my father. Let us make him drink wine this night also, and go in thou, and lie with him, that he may preserve seed of our fathers. And they made their father drink wine that night also, when the younger arose, and lay with him. And he perceived not when she lay down, nor when she arose. Thus were both the daughters of Lot, which were the child by their father. And the firstborn bore a son, and he called his name Moab. The same was the father of the Moabites to this day. And the younger she also bare a son, and called his name Benjamin. The same was the father of the children of Ammon to this day. Genesis chapter 20. And Abraham journeyed from thence toward the south country, and dwelt between Kadesh and Sur, and Shadod and Gerar. And Abraham said of Sarah his wife, She is my sister. And Amalek king of Gerar sent and took Sarah. But God came to Amalek in a dream by night, and said unto him, Behold, thou art with a dead man, the woman whose house taken, for she is this man's wife. But Amalek had not come near her, and he said, Lord, wilt thou also have a righteous nation? So he said unto him, She is my sister. And she herself said, He is my brother. In the integrity of my heart and inventory of my hands have I done this. And God said unto him in a dream, Yea, I know that thou didst this integrity of thy heart, for it is also withheld thee from sinning against thee. Therefore studied he not to touch her. Now therefore restore the man his wife, for he is a prophet, and he shall pray for thee, and thou shalt live, and he shall restore her down. Know that there shall surely die though that are in mine. Therefore Amalek rose early in the morning, and called all the servants, and told all these things in their ears, and the men were sore afraid. Then Amalek called Abraham, and said unto him, What hast thou done unto us, and what have I done to offend thee, that thou shalt brought me out of the kingdom of great sin? Thou hast done deeds unto me that ought not to be done. And Amalek said to Abram, What sawest thou that thou hast done this thing? And Abraham said, Because I thought, surely the fear of the God is not in this place, and they will slay me for my wife's sake. Yet indeed she is my sister, she is the daughter of my father, but not the daughter of my mother, and she became my wife. And it came to pass, when God caused me to wander from my father's house, that I said unto her, This is thy kindness which thou showed me in every place, whether they shall come say of me, He is my brother. And Amalek took sheep and oxen and manservants and womenservants, and gave them to Abraham, and restored his Sarah's wife. And Amalek said, Behold, my land is before thee, dwell where it pleases thee. And unto Sarah he said, Behold, I have given thy brother 1,000 pieces of silver. Behold, he is to thee a covering of the eyes, and to that are with thee, and all that are older. Thus she was reproved. So Abraham prayed unto God, and God healed Amalek, and his wife, and his maidservants, and they bare children. The Lord has fast closed up all the wombs of the house of Amalek because of Sarah, Abraham's wife. Genesis chapter 21. And the Lord visited Sarah as he had said, until the Lord did unto Sarah as he spoke. For Sarah conceived and bare Abram, the son of his old age, and he said the time which God had spoken of him. And Abraham called the name of his son that was born unto him, whom Sarah bore unto him Isaac. And Abraham circumcised his son Isaac, being 8 days old, as God has commanded him. And Abraham was 100 years old when his son Isaac was born unto him. And Sarah said, God has made me to laugh, so all that you heard will laugh with me. And so she said, Who will have said unto Abraham that Sarah should have given children suck? For I have borne him a son out of his old age. And the child grew and was weaned, and Abraham made a great feast the same day that Isaac was weaned. And Sarah saw the sons of Hagar the Egyptian, which she had borne unto Abraham mocking. Wherefore she said unto Abraham, Cast out this bondwoman and her son, for the son of the bondwoman shall not be heir of my son, even with Isaac. And the thing was very grievous in Abraham's sight, because of his son. And God said unto Abraham, Let it not be grievous in thy sight, because of thy lad, and because of thy bondswoman, and all that Sarah has said unto thee. Hearken unto her voice, for Isaac shall thy seed be called. And also the son of the bondwoman I will make thee a nation, because he is thy seed. And Abraham rose up early in the morning, and took bread and a bottle of water, and gave it to Hagar, put it on her shoulder. And the child they sent away, and she departed and wandered through the wilderness of Beersheba. And the waters were spent in the bottle. She cast the child under one of the shrubs. And she went and she sat down over against him a good way off, and where a bow shot, for she said, Let me not see the death of my child. And he sat over against him, and lifted up her voice and wept. And God heard the voice of the lad, and the angel of the Lord called to Hagar out of the heaven, and said unto her, What aileth thee, Hagar? Fear not, for God has heard the voice of the lad where she is. Arise, lift up the lad, and hold him to thine hand, for I will make him a great nation. And God opened her eyes, and she saw a well of water, and she went and filled the bottle with the water, and gave the lad drink. And God was with the lad, and he grew and dwelt in the wilderness, and became an archer. And he dwelt in the wilderness of Paran, and his mother took him a wife out of the land of Egypt. And it came to pass at the time that Amalek and Percol, the chief captain of the host, spoke to Abraham, saying, God is with thee in all that thou doest. Now therefore swear unto me here by God that thou wilt not deal falsely with me, nor with my son, nor with my son's son, but according to the kindness that I have done unto thee, thou shalt do unto me into the land where thou shalt have sojourned. And Abraham said, I will swear. And Abraham reproved Abimelech because of the well of the water which Abimelech's servants have valiantly taken away. And Abimelech said, I will not who has done this thing, neither dost thou tell me, neither they heard of it, or what to this day. And Abraham took sheep and oxen and gave them to Abimelech, and both of them made a covenant. And Abraham set 7 ewe lambs of the flock by themselves. And Abimelech said unto Abraham, What means thou 7 ewe lambs which thou hast set by themselves? And he said, For these 7 ewe lambs thou shalt not take from my hand, that they may be a witness unto me that I have digged this well. Wherefore called that place Beersheba, because they swore both of them. Thus they made a covenant at Beersheba, when Abimelech rose up, and Peniel the chief captain of the host, and they returned to the land of the Philistines. Then Abraham planted a grove in Beersheba, and called there the name of the Lord, the everlasting God. And Abraham sojourned in the Philistine land many days. Genesis chapter 22. And it came to pass after these things that God did tempt Abraham, and said unto him, Abraham. And he said, Behold, here I am. And he said, Take now thy son, thy only son Isaac, whom thou lovest, and get thee into the land of the Moriah, and offer him there for a burnt offering upon one of the mountains, which I will tell thee of. And Abraham rose early in the morning, and saddled his ass, and took 2 of his young men with him, and Isaac his son, and clove the wood for the burnt offering, and rose up, and went to the place of which God had told him. Then on the 3rd day Abraham lifted up his eyes, and saw the place afar off. And Abraham said to his young men, Abide ye here with the ass, and I and the lad will go yonder and worship, and come up again unto you. And Abraham took the wood and the burnt offering, and laid it upon Isaac his son. And he took the fire in his hand, and a knife, and they both went up together. And Isaac spoke unto Abraham his father, and said, My father. And he said, Here I am, thy son. And he said, Behold the fire and the wood, but where is the lamb or the burnt offering? And Abraham said, My son, God will provide himself a lamb for a burnt offering. So they went both of them together. And they came to the place which God had told him of. And Abraham built an altar there, and laid the wood in order, and bound Isaac his son, and laid him on the altar upon the wool. And Abraham stretched forth his hand, and took the knife to slay his son. And the angel of the Lord called unto him out of heaven, and said, Abraham, Abraham. And he said, Here I am. And he said, Lay not thy hand upon the lad, neither do thou anything unto him. For now I know that thou fearest God, seeking that has not withheld thy son, thy only son, from me. And Abraham lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, behind him a ram caught in the thicket by his horns. And Abraham went and took the ram, and offered him up for a burnt offering in the stead of his son. And Abraham called the name of that place Jehovareth, for he said, This day the mountain of the Lord shall be seen. And the angel of the Lord called to Abraham out of the heaven the 2nd time, and said, By myself have I sworn, saith the Lord, for because thou hast done this thing, and hast not withheld thy son, thy only son, that in blessings I will bless thee, and in multiplying I will multiply thy seed as the stars of the heaven, and as the sands which is upon the seashore, and upon thy seed shall possess the gates of his enemies. And in thy seed shall the nations of the earth be blessed, because thou hast obeyed my voice. So Abraham returned and his young men, and they rose up and went together to Beersheba. and Abraham dwelt in Beersheba. And it came to pass after these things that it was told to Abraham, saying, Behold, Melech, he has borne children to his brother Nahor, Huz his firstborn, and Buz his brother, and Kamul the father of Abram, and Chest, and Hazo, and Peldesh, and Japheth, and Bethuel. And Bethuel begot Rebekah. These 8 Micah did bear to Nahor, Abraham's brother. And his concubine, whose name was Ramah, she bare also Tibah, and Galam, and Todash, and Melech. Well, guys, that's the video. I appreciate you guys watching. If you have any questions, you can always comment below. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. Click the bell, that way you get updated when I post a new video. Like the video, and also comment, even if it's something simple. If you know somebody that might enjoy hearing this series, make sure you share it with them. Share it on social media. I'm going to put a couple links on the screen here. The bottom right is going to be the Matthew Bible study. The top left is going to be the Bible study or a playlist that I think you're going to like. And then the bottom left is going to be a video YouTube that you're going to like. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Have yourself a great day.